Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another event video on Marvel Strike Force. Now, today we're going to be talking about the SUNSPOT character release event, Solar Schematics. We're also going to be taking a little bit of a look at the Allied Engines. I believe that's the Alliance-based event, where maybe a lucky few you might actually get Venom for diamonds, but I think it's probably unlikely. So we're going to take a look at both of these and see exactly what you need to do to get as many shards for Sunspot as humanly possible. So if you're ready to go, everybody, then let's boil this down. And before we do get to the math, though, I want to do a quick recap of how things are looking currently, which is going to be for the start of week 2 of the January month-long event. One thing that I do want to point out is that the free claim on Friday did not have any currency. This is a first. Honestly, I don't remember any time where this was in. So I don't know if this is going to impact the month, if it's going to be, maybe they just missed it out. Maybe they'll add it back into Friday 2, 3, and 4, or however many there is. And then things will be fine. We'll find out later on. As far as the points go, there is a sub. Now, this is not what you're going to have. I'm just saying if you add everything up together, we're currently at 460,000 out of 800K. Obviously, we still have all of these events still left to go. So no worries so far. Just kind of wanted to mention that and how things are looking. Now, let's talk about Allied Engines first. Now, this is... Ignore that, actually, because that's not it. Allied Allied Engines is raised. It's a 4-day event. It's an Alliance milestone event. This is really important. Actually, I want to bring it up really quick, the table for this. So, it's kind of like a lot of Alliance-based events, but some of the things that are going to be in here is going to include, your T2 level 4 and 5 ions, those orbs that give ions as well, some Armory 17s and 18s. And, well, if you're super, super lucky, and I don't see a way that this is going to happen, but the 1 Diamond Venom is the bottom for 1 million points. I don't think this is free to play, because we're going to take a look at basically how you get this. Now, you're going to get points for battling in raids. You're going to get bonus points for battling in raids with Extreme X-Men, but also with higher stars. I'm not even sure if you added up the 7-star, the limits here for 5, 6, and 7-star together, I'm not even sure if you would actually get to 1 million. I think that you would still have to spend, honestly. But let's take a look anyway. So battle and raids, this is pretty easy. The 384,000, everyone should be able to do this. And then the 156,000, you should be able to do this. I think that everyone should be able to do this. So this basically is 33 Extreme X-Men characters per person over 4 days. Now, this can include your incursion raid. This can also include your Greek raid if you just run over one of the mutant sections, things like that in Gamma we have right now. There's an X-Men section on the sides, I believe, so you could use your Extreme X-Men there as well. So basically what I mean is that it's 33 characters total usage over the 4 days, or as an example, it's like 7 full Extreme X-Men battles in any raid. So if you have all 5 of them unlocked, I know that this is the Sunspot event, you probably should have Forge at this point, so you'd have at least 4 characters, but you might have 5 soon. And so those 4 days, it should be pretty easy. Just make sure you're using them in Gamma where possible. Otherwise, I think it would be viable. If you really want to, once you get to the mutant section of your given raid, whatever raid that happens to be, you could also do like a sack run, I guess, to kill them. Or you could enter the battle and then lose and then quit the battle. I know it would consume energy, but if your Extreme X-Men are not maxed out, but you do have them unlocked, that's an option for you. So the grand total points in terms of what I would expect, I would just honestly just add up these two. And that's 540,000. You might get some of this, but I highly doubt it. And the Allied Supply Orb Fragments they mentioned is going to be in the free claim. Now, as far as how much that is, you might get 500 per day per person, which could be about an extra 200,000. So where could you reasonably get to? You might actually be able to get to about milestone 17, which is 730,000. And this is going to be, you're going to get all the stuff previously, some blue 4, some blue 5 ions, some orbs, things like that. But you're not going to get to Venom. Like I said, even with all of this stuff here, I'm not even sure if you would actually get them. So that's disappointing. It is going to have the next event. Actually, no, sorry, this event actually has a leaderboard as well for Venom's diamonds, but you are definitely not getting that because it's only for the top 10 alliances. Everything else is just diamond on orb fragments and things like that. We might pick up some of that, 1 to 3% at best, but you might even get 1 mega gold orb because it's 4 to 10%. So hey, who knows, right? But you're not getting those diamonds for the venoms. It was a little bit misleading, I think, in that regard. Let's go over to solar schematics though, because that's Sunspot. That's what we're here to talk about. So let's zoom in for this one. And solar schematics is a 7-day event. What you have to do is war battles with Superior 6, ISO 8 energy spending, and Blitz. Now, the problem with this event is we don't know the part of the ISO 8 energy. We don't know how much orb fragments that we're going to be getting per ISO 8 energy spent. And so I've done a bit of an estimation, a logical estimation based on where I think it would leave us in terms of the milestones. I've done this enough that honestly, I think that at this point, we're kind of looking at the milestone 14, 15 range maximum, because that's kind of where we're getting free to play. More often than not, unless it's a blitz spamming event where you do like 8 rotations a day, you're normally capping out at around milestone 14 or 15, with the other like 6 milestones being whalestones. So that's kind of the assumption that I've made here. And so, take this with a little bit of grain of salt, but you should be able to get most of the way through. So I'm going to put out this up, which is my subject to change because who knows? But I think this is going to be pretty accurate. The total milestone points required for this is going to be 210,000. This is including whalestones. The event item is at 123,000. That's roughly how much you need to get there. So that's our goal. That's our target goal for this. There's also some Sunspot shards 1 milestone after this. I think this might be reasonably obtainable if you have Superior 6 members geared up as well. So we'll take a look at that. Geared up, stars up. No, geared up. Total event currency is 78,000. There is 75 Sunspot shards in the milestone, but 50 I would say are reasonable. Now, this is not the only way that you're getting Sunspot shards. You're going to be getting it in the solar schematic orb. And you'll be getting the orb fragments through farming an ISO 8 energy. There's a little bit in the web milestone as well, but not a lot. So we don't really know what the free claims are at this point. So that'll be added when I post this on Monday at 1 p.m. On Discord. I have the section, the Boilon's resources section. That's where all of my tables go if you want to share it with your alliance or whatnot. That's just the final version of it that hits there after we see the free claim and add that into the total points. Now, the web milestone points for this is 40,000. You get 36,000 milestone points directly and 4,000 orb fragments towards this. This requires 25,000 blitz credits. This is equivalent to about 3.5-ish rotations daily if you're using all 54 teams. Now, I know not everyone wins 54 teams, and then you maybe get 45 or so. That's why I said ish. You might be about 4 rotations, but expect anywhere from 3 to 4 rotations depending on how lucky your blitz credit drops are. It's average about 20 blitz credits per win. Just in case somebody asks, it used to be a 15 blitz credit average per win, but they bumped that up after they basically wanted to move away from hoarding blitz credits, in the milestones and things like that. They upped the amount of blitz credits that you get per win. So just wanted to explain that in case people were wondering. In terms of the other points, earn 1 solar. So I said that again. Solar schematic. I was combining the words. Solar schematic orb fragment, 1 point. A win-lose battle of war. That's 1,000 points with a limit of 30k. 30 war battles. That's pretty easy. Should be able to do that. You do also get some points for using Superior 6, 500 up to 2,500. That's 5 usages, which again should be pretty easy because even if you're just using Doc Ock and Green Goblin Classic, that's pretty much enough. Not there. I think you might get 2 wars for this. Not 100% sure. No, sorry. I don't know what I was. Sorry, disregard that. It's a 7-day event. Yeah, so it's 3 wars, 100% 3 wars. So you should have no problems using 5 characters over 3 wars. Doc Ock and Green Goblin, no problem. And if you have them at gear tier 17 and 18, even better. But for the purposes of the calculation, I've separated it between if you don't have G17 and 18 and those who do, because Doc Ock and Green Goblin specifically are some of the most important ones for DD6. So some of you might actually have that, and I do as well. So just wanted to kind of let you know about that one. In terms of your ISO 8 energy spending, though, That's about 1130 that you get per day. That's 360 from just your time based energy that refreshes, 240 for your 3 refreshes a day, and then 120 for the free ISO pack, which also comes from the objective, daily objective, 50 from the web milestone, and up to 360 more, which is your 50 refreshes as well. So that grand total is 1130. And then in terms of the orb fragments per day, like I said, I've kind of made an assumption, but we'll see. That part's subject to change, about an 8-to-1 ratio. So for every ISO 8 energy spent, you'll probably get 8 fragments, 8 orb fragments. And the reason why I chose 8 was because I kind of added up all the points together and where the different value, if I did 7, where would it leave us? 6, where would it leave us? And I feel like this is the most logical to get to that milestone 14. Because we need to, at the bare minimum, get to the event item. Otherwise, it's a failed event. And they really screwed up. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that, we'll get the event item. And so therefore the milestone after that is the sunspot charges. So shards rather, not charges. So that's why I went with 8-to-1. So that's about 9,000 fragments per day, or about 4.5 orbs. Multiply this by 7 days, and that's about 63,000 orb fragments. Now, this is going to be really important because those are the other ways that you're going to get sunspot shards. And as of writing this, of course, I don't know what the estimated value of this orb is going to be. I don't know how many shards. It could be honestly just 2. You get 2 shards, per opening of the orb. I honestly don't know, because if you've seen orbs before, that's highly possible, right? Where you get like the 2 side pillars and there's like 1 shard each, and that's guaranteed, but like the rest isn't. So who knows on that one? This is just an illogical estimate. So the potential orb fragments, you just add this with the 4,000 from the web milestone, which seems like really low by comparison, and that gets you about 34, or it's rounding up to 34. So just spend a little bit more ISO 8 energy to round up to 68k, and you'll get 34 orbs. Now, how many sunspot shards are you going to get from the orbs? That's the big question. I put 3. But let's assume that the side pillars give you some guaranteed shards, and in the middle there's a chance, right? Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing on this one. The reason why I put 3 is because if you look at the total sunspot shards, if you include the milestone as well, it's about 151. And the reason why I landed there is because they don't want you to get a 4-star. And the reason for that is because of the showcase. The showcase, which actually might in fact end before you probably get Sunspot anyways, because the end of the event. But this part here, the extreme part of the showcase event requires 4 yellow stars. They've been squeezing a lot harder when it comes to the showcase events, but also getting 4-star. You've been kind of landing in like the 3.5-star range, and that's kind of where this is, and that's kind of why I think this is probably right. You're not going to walk away from this event with a 4-star free to play anymore, because they want you to get like 3-ish star plus the battle pass, or one of the passes that are going to bring the new characters in later. That's normally what ends up happening for characters like this. So what's the reasonable points total at the end of all of this? Well, if you don't have Superior 6 at G17 and 18, then you're going to have about 136k. This is about Milestone 14 with a clear without the free claim. So Milestone 14, let's go back over here. Milestone 14 is the Sunspot charges. I said it. Why am I saying charges? Sunspot shards over here. I'm thinking of his charges because that's all I've been living and breathing is Extreme X-Men and Sunspot's charges on his kit. That's why I'm saying that. So the 15 Sunspot, I was about to do it again. The 15 Sunspot shards there for Milestone 14. If you do have the Superior 6 characters at G17 and 18, expect to get about 20,000 more points, and that's going to get you to Milestone 16 cleared, which just barely gets you there. And with the free claim, it might be a little bit easier. And so what's the difference, though, between, say, 14 and 16? Well, there is actually a lot of teal augmented origin. That's what I think that metabolic enhancers. I think this is origin gear and cytoplasms. So that's probably the biggest difference here. Otherwise, I wouldn't really expect kind of free to play to be able to get much higher than that. So that's kind of the expectations there. These 25 Sunspot charges, I really don't think that that's possible. So I wouldn't really expect that to happen. So, final notes for this event: ISO 8 energy. Again, this will change. When we actually know in case I'm right, maybe I won't have to change much. But the ISO 8 energy to orb fragment ratio is unknown at this time. Usually, Scopely gives it to us, but this time they didn't. So, but we don't normally get beyond milestone 14 or 15 free to play these days, or the kind of reasonable expectation. We don't know what the estimated value of the Sunspot orb is going to be, but realistically, we land at 3-star usually these days for character releases. So expect kind of that. I will update this on Monday when the event goes live in my Discord. So make sure you're keeping an eye there. If you want to share this with your alliance and things like that, this will have the final version of that there. So I just wanted to kind of let people know what to expect with this event. There is going to be a lot of ISO 8 energy spending. There's going to be some blitzing. It might not be that bad of an idea if you're running low on blitz credits, like I actually am, to buy Mockingbird shards. So who knows, maybe you might actually have some value there. And the war battle should be pretty self-explanatory and easy. That's going to be the end of this video, everyone. I hope that you're having a great rest of the weekend. And until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.